Alright, so here goes a explanation of what I'm building here. So this is the aquarium, and it's going to be full of fish. And those fish will poop and stuff, right? And there's going to be a water pump, and that water pump will push that poopy water up here. And up here, there's going to be full of what's called grow material, like grow stones, I think is what I ordered. Yeah, not sure where those are, but I don't really need them right now anyways. But anyhow, the grow stones will go up here, and you can plant plants in the grow stones up here, and they'll be fertilized. You don't have to actually have soil. They'll be fertilized by the water with fertilizer from the fish, you know, their poop. It will fertilize the plants, and the plants will grow up here, and then the water will drain back down to the fish, and it just cycles like that, and you just have to feed the fish, and that's it. It grows plants. And I just want it because it'll be something cool to put in my house, just for like a conversation piece, you know, and like it'll just look neat, you know, to have like fish and plants and a little like mini ecosystem sort of. So yeah, I'm just building this cheap thing. Like I got this for 15 bucks. These were like 10 for the set. Like everything's so cheap. This is the grow light, and you have to get something that does UV. So this is going to be up here somewhere to you know, to light up the plants and give them the UV light that they need. But yeah, and then this is just the rest of the stuff. This is a timer, so the grow light will be on for 12 hours a day. And so the plants are getting the type of light that they need for the amount of time that they need. And this is just tubing to get the water from point A to point B. So yeah, anyways, there will be some sort of system up here to allow the water to come up to a certain level and then drain it back down to the tank. And I thought I'd have to drill a hole in the lid, but there's already a hole to use right here. That's for the filter or whatever, so that'll be nice and easy. So pretty much I just got to build this stand and put everything together, and then go get some fish, so, and some plants or seeds or whatever I'm gonna do. So yeah, gonna get started. All right, I got some thinking and some planning and some measurements done. So this is what the platform that the tank is gonna sit on will look like. And it's going to be about this height, so I've marked posts to go as high as I want them, made them all even, and marked them right here. So basically this thing's just going to sit just a few inches above it like so, so I've got room, you know, to move stuff around and whatnot, room to feed the fish. But yeah, I'm going to start cutting the posts out and cut this out and start attaching things together so I can see what else I need to do. Alright, so I'm making good progress on this thing. This is where the aquarium's going to sit, and that's about how tall this thing's going to be. And I figured I was probably going to have to do this, but now I can see I'm going to have to do it for sure. I cut pieces to brace the legs. I'm going to make just a whole square down here to brace the legs because it's real wobbly. So the legs need bracing down there. So that's what I'm going to do. Alright, got the bottom all nice and braced up, and now I can continue working towards the top. So basically, where's those trays at? So basically, I want to make a box that the tray can sit down in, you know, like that. So I've measured out, you know, the exact inside diameter so that the lip will sit on the wood. So basically, I'm going to make that box, and then I'm just going to set it up here and see what I need to do to get it to attach and look good. So that is how I'm going to proceed with this. But it's turning out good so far. I'm liking it. Okay, another little update here. It was still just a touch rickety because not all the legs were exactly the same length, you know, to the millimeter. So I put these little feet on it, one to, you know, give it more base to stand on. So now it's really not going to fall over no matter how much weight is on the top of it. And two, I can screw these, like, let me show you. All I did was put them in with one screw because I can now turn them to change the length, and that'll help me get it exactly even no matter where it is. So that's helpful. And basically this thing's done. Let me show you what it looks like with the stuff on it. So as you can see, we got the aquarium and the grow bed, and basically it's all done for the building part. Now you have to build a stand to come up on the top and hold the grow light, and it needs to be some way where it's easy to change and adjust the height of it. So I'll figure something out. I think I'm just going to build something pretty simple, like I say, like just something that comes up off the side and over and just holds the light. So it's not very heavy, so it doesn't need to be real strong. So we'll figure something out. Alright, so we got this thing pretty much assembled at this point. I am going to take everything off and stain it before I get it going, but I will go ahead and talk about how it's going to work a little bit before I do that. So basically, of course, the fish are going to be in here, and like I've already said, there's a pump that's going to bring water up here. The pump will be in that corner, and I'll just run a tube up here that'll drop water in this corner here. And then this is just a piece of PVC, and it's going to drain the water back down to the fish. And you just have to make sure that your pump is letting in water below the line that this is at, and you have to make sure that it's at an opposite corner so that the water flows through, you know, the roots of the plants until it comes over here to drain. And to seal this, I just used some bathroom caulk. It's supposed to be waterproof and stuff, so I'll let it set up overnight and hopefully it'll work good. So I think it should be fine. It's not like it's going to be under a lot of pressure. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And of course, I got this light mounted up here. It says like the UV light for the plants, and it'll be on a timer because, you know, plants need the light for roughly 12 hours a day, and then they need the nighttime too, just because that's how they work, that's how they grow. You can't have them having light all the time. But yeah, so that's how it's gonna work. I'm taking everything off to stain it, and then we'll get some fish and get some plants and see what we can do. Alright, so we got the aquarium all set up here with some water and some decorations, and went ahead and picked up some fish. Right now they're sitting in their bag so they can get used to the temperature in the tank before we just turn them loose in there. And after we get that all sorted out, then we'll put the plant stuff up here. And here she is, all set up at last. So it took a little bit of trial and error. Turned the pump on over here, and the water was coming out so fast that it was all spilling in the top. See, I've got a hole drilled in the side down there that it's supposed to drain out, and then the top, of course, is left open, one, to feed the fish, and two, if the water fills up all the way, then it can go down there, but it shouldn't get that full. It should fill only about an inch below the grow stones here. So, you know, that's just a backup. But basically, with the pump on all the way, because it came turned all the way up, it was filling up so fast that it was all coming in here. So I reached in there, and there's a switch on the back of it, and I turned it down to minimum, and it comes out at a much better pace. So that solved that issue. Also, this is just a spare like vacuum cap and tee that I had laying around, so that was the best way I could figure out to get that to go where I needed to. So basically, I'm just going to be doing little updates on this. I'll take pictures and show you guys how well it's working, and if it's not working well, then I'll change stuff up. I figure I'll probably need to get more fish because right now we just have like 5. So if I end up getting some more to fill it up and have more to look at and to provide more fertilizer for the plants. And also, as you can see, the water is really cloudy, and that is, once we turned the pump on and it started draining water down, that got really cloudy because of all the dirt and stuff that came probably off the plants and also off this grow media. These grow stones had a lot of dirt and stuff in the bag, so I went ahead and plugged in the filter that came with the aquarium, and hopefully that can clear up this water for us. So I probably won't run it all the time, just probably as needed, because I don't want it to filter out all the fish poop that will fertilize these plants. So anyways, looks good, and this is how she looks with the UV light on. Looks pretty sweet, I think. And we've got it all on timers. The UV light should be off right now, but I took the timer off just to show you guys what it would look like. But yeah, both the grow light is on a 12-hour timer, and then the pump is on a 30-minute timer. So it runs for 30 minutes and cuts off for 30 minutes, and then turns back on again. So hopefully that'll work. And like I said, I'm gonna be taking daily pictures and stuff, and we'll see how well if everything works and if everything survives. And if something goes wrong, then I'll figure it out and fix it. But for now, I'm just happy to have this thing going. So we'll see how she lasts. All right, so it's time for a little update on the fish. So it's about 3 days later, and the first thing you might notice is that these plants are a whole lot bigger than they were. The plants are going great. This system for flooding and draining is working great. I love it. Now, as I'm sure you can tell, there is a different amount of fish in here, and the two that are in there were not in there before. So what actually happened was, I listened to someone that I thought knew what they were talking about, but turns out they didn't at all. They told me that you could just put tap water in here and it would just work. You know, you didn't have to condition it or anything. And I've never had fish before, so I didn't know any better. So I just put tap water in there and put the filter in there and started the system and put those 5 fish in there. And unfortunately, I came back the next morning and they were all dead. So I went to the pet store and talked to them, and obviously that's completely ignorant. I should have done more research before I started. That was super silly of me, but you know, you live and you learn. And so basically, I got a whole bunch of stuff over here. Got tap water conditioner and ammonia test kit, because apparently that's what kills your fish most of the time is ammonia. So I've been testing the water and trying to do everything right and conditioning it and changing it at certain amounts. So basically, how this has gone down so far is the 5 died, so I completely cleaned out the system, completely cleaned out the water, cleaned out the gravel and everything. And they told me that I needed a heater, so I got a water heater, and the water is a whole lot warmer. So that's 2 things. One, the fish need it warm, but more importantly, you need it to be a certain amount of warm for it to grow the bacteria that you need that will kill the ammonia, and the ammonia is what's actually going to kill the fish. So still, to get the cycle started, I was reading that you just need a couple of fish that are resilient to produce the ammonia, and once there's ammonia in there, then the bacteria will start to grow that will eat that ammonia. This is a very simplified explanation. I'm not a scientist or anything like that, but basically I need these 2 fish. There's 2 goldfish, and they're pretty resilient and pretty cheap, and they're jump starting the system. So once I have good chemistry down, I'll put more pretty fish in there, but for now it's just going to be these guys, and I'm constantly checking the ammonia. It is definitely going down, but it's not at 0 yet, and so I'm going to wait till it's at 0 before I invest in nicer fish again. So that's what's going on here. Like I said, the plants are easy. It's going great. How I have it set up is everything's on a timer. The LED light comes on for 12 hours a day and it goes off for 12 hours a day. Obviously it's working great. I'm not going to change anything about the plants. And then down here, the water pump comes on for 30 minutes and off for 30 minutes. On for 30 minutes and off for 30 minutes. And that allows us to flood and drain like it's supposed to. So everything's working well for the plants. I'm going to leave that how it is. And then down here, I temporarily have this filter going because it's also helping with the chemistry of the system. There's chemicals or bacteria on the pad filter in there that are, you know, jump starting the system. Once I have the chemistry right in here, I'm going to unplug this and see if I can get the chemistry to stay right without it, because the idea is for the roots of the plants to filter the water for the fish. So I shouldn't need that. So we'll see if I can get to do that or not. Worst case, I'll just leave that running. It's not a big deal, but I think I can get it once I get the chemistry figured out. And you know, it takes several weeks to do, is what I was reading. So, you know, baby steps, but we're getting there. Definitely making progress. And you know, as for the moment, the system's working great. I'm taking daily pictures, so I will put a little time lapse, not really, but like a little thing where you can see how it's growing each day and how it's changing. The water is definitely a lot more clear. I'll put a picture on the screen of how filthy the water got and just cloudy and stuff. So as you can see, from that to now, there's a huge difference. It's looking a lot better, and we're getting this thing figured out. So, you know, you live and you learn. Anyways, it's a fun project. I'm liking it a lot, and it's a neat thing to talk to people about, because most people have actually never even heard of this. So it's a neat thing. It's fun. So that's it for now. I'll keep you guys updated on how this thing's going. Time for a little update on the aquaponics rig. I've been running it for about a week now, and so far it's doing really well. The plants are doing absolutely amazing. They're super easy. There's not much upkeep to them. You know, they pretty much take care of themselves. Now the fish are a little bit more tricky. Like I told you, I had trouble getting the chemistry right, and after running the 2 goldfish for a few days, they stayed alive. I went ahead and got a few more. So right now we got 4 goldfish swimming around here. I got goldfish because they're known to be more resilient, so ammonia doesn't kill them as easily as it would kill other tropical fish. So, time to feed them, so I'll go ahead and do that. I'm not gonna get, there we go. I'm not gonna get any nice, pretty expensive, fancy looking tropical fish until I get the ammonia down to a 0, which is what it's supposed to be at. And I just now tested it a week into this, and the ammonia still looks to be probably a 0.5, maybe a 1. I don't know, but it's definitely too high to put sensitive fish in there, so I'm just gonna have to keep on with these for now. I've got this filter still running. It's supposed to help, you know, make the ecosystem friendly. Eventually, of course, the idea is to not have that filter and have the plants filter the water, but we'll see if I'll have to get the ammonia down first and then unplug that for a while and do some testing and see if it works. So for now, I'm just trying to get the ammonia down for the first time, so we'll get there. And these goldfish are clearly doing well. I mean, they're swimming around, they seem happy and stuff. So the other fish I noticed got real still before they died. So if that's any indication, these ones are doing just fine. What do you think, Luna? One more little update here on the aquaponics setup. All 4 goldfish are still alive, and they've been alive for 2 weeks. And as you can see, everything's growing well, and one is missing, one of the tulips, and that's because it grew so high that it was actually touching the UV light up there. So I got it over here in the sunlight to finish growing. I may move that UV light further up at some point, but for now it's close enough. And yeah, looks like another one might be sprouting over here too. So alright, it's been a minute since I did an update on the aquaponics setup, so I'm going to tell you what's going on. Sorry, the washing machine and the dishwasher are running in the background, but I'm just going to talk over them. So as you can see, all 4 fish are alive and doing well. They're swimming around, the water is nice and clear. I'm happy with what's going on here. Now, the plants obviously are growing great. All of them are growing really well. Now this guy back here, he was over here, but I had to move him because he grew too tall and he was smushed up against the light. So I'd put him back there, and I think now he's just not getting enough water, but he grew a second flower, so I may try and add that to one of these pots. We'll see. But I'm thinking after I cycle these plants out, I'm gonna put like 1 plant, like maybe a bonsai tree or something, you know, aesthetic looking in there, and I won't have to worry about it growing all the way up to the light. At least I hope not. But yeah, the setup works, and then I just tested the fish water. You know, it looks good, but I want to test it to see what the ammonia's at. And bear in mind that I don't think I've ever had it below a 0.5, and this is what it looks like. I'm not sure if that's a 0 or a 0.25, but you know, it looks a lot better than it was the last time. So I finally have a cycle going where the bacteria and stuff are working properly and making a healthy environment for both the fish and the plants. So I'm going to call that a huge success. And I'm actually going to go to the store and get some more stuff. I want like a sucker fish for the walls, you know, to clean them, and then a shrimp to clean the floor. Maybe I'll get one other thing. I don't know. We'll see what the Petco has, and we'll go from there.